cloud. Awesome. So now, good evening and welcome, guys. So if you're joining us for the first time, you've never been on this call, please do say me in the comment section. Do something. We want to acknowledge you. Welcome everybody who's joining us for the first time. Welcome. Right, so we welcome everybody joining us for the first time. Awesome. So let's get the show on the road, guys. So now, what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies, right? Specifically, the mother of all cryptocurrencies being Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about, what is Bitcoin, where it comes from, what problem it's here to solve, how well it's doing solving the problem. And on top of that, we're going to talk about the company that allows you and I to be able to participate in this revolution of cryptocurrencies, being Mining City. We're going to talk about who Mining City is. We're going to talk about, Mining City's strategic partner called MineBest. And we're going to talk about, how you and I, with this information, right, how you and I can then build a part-time or full-time business with this, opportunity. So we are talking about what is called the business model of the 21st century, which literally combines two of the very powerful business instruments, which is one, cryptocurrencies. I mean, we all know that cryptocurrencies have created multi-millionaires from world over, right? And the beautiful thing about cryptocurrencies, which is very common with network marketing, is the fact that it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, right? It's an equal opportunity for all. People that got in and understood what the industry is about and actually stuck it out, through the ups and downs. Today, those people are actually filthy rich, okay? That's cryptocurrencies, right? They're changing the way we communicate value. They're changing how we exchange money all over the world. That's number one, like millionaires and billionaires have been created through cryptocurrencies. Now, the second part, which is equally, very powerful on its own, which is network marketing. Now, network marketing is one of those things, of those industries that are highly misunderstood. The industry has been around for many years. In fact, the very first company created in the network marketing space was created in the year 1932. Can you believe it? So it's been around for a while. Ask yourself, why were you not taught about network marketing in school, right? Could there be a reason? I've got a friend who's got a master's degree in marketing, and guess what he told me? He told me that they never actually, studied network marketing. In fact, it was just a subject, right? That like a topic in a specific subject, right? Network marketing, and that was it. Did not even come out in the test. There wasn't really too much discussion about it. So that just tells you, how the system maybe, I don't know whether it's by intention or it is actually, misunderstanding from their side. I don't know what the reasons are, but what I will tell you is that people have become multimillionaires with network marketing, right? Now, and of course, in the main, maybe you are here for the first time and you're thinking to yourself, the thing of being a millionaire is maybe too far from your mind right now. Let me tell you this, a lot of people in network marketing, yes, there's a lot of people that have become millionaires, but there's a lot of people who have simply changed their life, right? Who were able to add an extra 10, 20, 30,000 rand a month from their network marketing business. So let's get right onto business. So now, throughout history, men have had the need to exchange value, okay? Men have had the need to transact one with another, right? And we have seen the evolution of money, from when men, were cavemen, and they started evolving and they went into farming, and they started migrating all over the world and so forth. Here's the thing. Men have always had the need to exchange value. So money has been changing. What we call money today has been changing for thousands and thousands of years. Okay. In fact, the current form of money, which is paper money, it's actually on its way out right now, right? We'll talk about that just now. Now, there was a time where in fact, the Roman soldiers, there was a time where their salary was actually salt. Salt was used as money in the Roman Empire many, many years ago. Okay, it was a commodity, it was money. So, and that's where actually the word salary comes from. It's salaria, right? Which means salt. Okay, that's where it actually comes from. So now money has been changing from salt to stones, to there's something called the rice stone, seashells. It's been so many things. But let's come into the modern day, era. In the modern day era, we had, where the paper money actually comes from is that people were using gold, right, as money. So, and what people would do is that because gold was actually risky to actually carry around with you all the time, traveling and so forth, it could be stolen. So many things could happen. What happened? The banks would actually keep your money, and they will give a certificate that says you've got this amount of gold. Now, you can then use that certificate, right? And you can go and share with your neighbor and say, look, I'm good for my money. Give me this cow. Give me this. And I said, and this is what I have. And you give them the certificate. And they can go and exchange that certificate for gold. And guess what? Governments, big government, they started actually changing all of that, right? And all of a sudden, that certificate actually became the dollar bill, right? It became money. And all of a sudden, since 1913, the US dollar was actually partially backed by gold. So meaning, in other words, if you take $1, a $1 bill, it did not represent, $1 worth of gold, right? It was only a small fraction. So in other words, you'll get a small percentage of that dollar in gold. But in 1971, that was when, the final nail on the coffin was hit. And that was when President Nixon removed the US dollar from the gold standard. And, and remember the US dollar in around 1940s actually became the global reserve currency. So meaning whatever happened to the US dollar, affected the entire world, okay? So when the US dollar was removed from the gold standard, of which, the US dollar was the global reserve currency of all currencies were affected. Now, because most currencies are actually backed, and pegged to the US dollar. So what happened was money became fiat. It became nothing. It was backed by nothing, right? Except by the government promise that it's actually good for something. So what does that mean for you and me? It actually means that, we work hard for our money, but the money we're working hard for and keeping and saving for rainy days, someone out there, governments, central banks, commercial banks, they create money and add money into circulation like it's doing out of fashion. And as they do so, the value or the buying power of the money that you are holding actually, erodes. And what do? We simply, because this is not necessarily taught, in depth in school, when you look at things, you would say that, this bottle of water used to be, a certain amount. It used to be, let's give an example. This bottle of water, this time last year, it was actually 10 rand, but now it's actually 15 rand. This is mad because, businesses are increasing prices and so forth. But guess what? It's got nothing to do with businesses increasing prices. It's got everything to do with their money losing buying power against every other item that is out there. So that's why these things seems like they are increasing in buying power, right? So money as you know it has changed. In fact, I wanna actually suggest to you and say, you and I have actually been scammed without us even being aware. Every day of our lives, we have been scammed. We are being scammed without us being aware. So today, I want to poke holes into the system that maybe you have been taught that is actually perfect, right? So let's start with this one. Now, when I was doing my third year in varsity, we had to do a subject called price analysis and estimation. This was simply, someone who prices a tender, whether it's for building a road or building a hotel, whatever the case is, right? You are actually going to price on today's labor rate and today's material rate. But what's going to happen is that you might only get to site 2 years from now because of so many contractual things that need to happen, approvals that need to happen and so forth, right? So you only get to site 2 years from now. What will have happened? The material prices changes at least twice in a year, okay? And that's number one. Number two, your labor prices also changes throughout the year. So what happens? The amount of money you actually price with is no longer relevant at the time you actually go to site. So if nothing changes, you will actually lose money. No contractor will actually go to site who is smart because he's actually at a loss because prices have changed. So now people called quantity surveyors must now escalate for this, right? So let me tell you why I'm telling you this. So this lecturer was teaching us this subject. He asked us a question. He said, what is the inflation rate as we speak? And guess what? Because we've got smartphones, everybody went to Google and says, you know, what is inflation? And everybody said, you know, it's 5.2 million, right? And this guy says, okay, fine. So you're talking about the official inflation rate, right? That's the official inflation rate, right? Currently, I think it's sitting at around 5.2%, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a little bit more or a little bit, it could, I think it's about 5.4, but let's say it's 5.2, right? Fine. So now the official inflation rate is sitting at 5.2%. Yay, fine. And then this guy says, okay, that's the official. And then he says, tell me, what is the real inflation rate? And we started scratching our heads and like, oh, Meneru just told you, right? And this guy said, what you told me is the official inflation rate. I want you to tell me the real inflation rate. And we couldn't know what he's talking about. And guess what he said? He says, if you ask a woman who does groceries on a day-to-day basis, they will tell you what the real inflation rate is. And like, what do you mean? And this guy says, see, when you take your normal goods that you buy, your groceries, forget everything, it's just your groceries, right? Look at your groceries, right? Look at your bread, your meat, look at your potatoes, your flour, eggs, sugar, oil, everything that you normally buy on groceries, right? And then he says, look at their prices today, go back 12 months and look at their prices back then, right? Because the official inflation rate simply means that your money is only losing buying power at the rate of 5.2%. And according to the Reserve Bank, this is actually okay because it is less than the 6%, which is the upper target of the official inflation rate according to the Reserve Bank, right? The Reserve Bank will have a problem if this breaches that 6%. Right now, they're not too concerned about that, right? Now, but that's the official. But now if you look at the real inflation rate, you realize that the real inflation rate could actually be anything 30% upwards, right? This you can do a test, you know, go home, do your homework and check up on this, right? So why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because now, if you are working a job right now, right, your main source of income is having a job, you know, all that's good. But here's the thing. Now, when they negotiate your annual salary increase, what do they base it on, right? So this is we're just talking here about, you know, your groceries, right? If we talk rent, your rent increases by 10% on average per year, right? So now, if you've got any funeral insurance and so forth, you know, most of them, even life cover, you know, most of them actually increase by 10% a year. This is standard, right? Maybe yours might be a little bit different, but this is normally standard. Okay, fine. Now, if all of this is above the 5.2%, what's happening? And when your employer negotiates a salary increase, he bases it on what? The official inflation rate. Okay, so right now, I think the government employees, they got something like a 1.5%. Okay, government employees, because the economy is bad, it's COVID, we don't have money, you are getting 1.5%. But guess what? Your cost of living is actually rising at about 30% a year. At about 30% a year. Okay, so if your income is only rising by 1.5, what does that mean? It means you need a side hustle. You need a side hustle. You need to find a way where you're actually going to make up for this difference. Okay, right? And with making up for this difference is just simply surviving. We're not talking building wealth yet. So if you want to build wealth, then you must make maybe 3, 4, 5 times this. Okay? So now I've got good news for you. The good news is that the opportunity that we're going to be talking about today gives you an opportunity to do all of this. Okay? So now I'm tempted to talk about how money gets created. A little bit about fractional reserve banking system, right? But I'm not sure if I should do that because of time. How are we doing on time? Okay, I think we're still good. So now, so what is Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is basically three things in one. Okay? Bitcoin is three things in one. Now, before we talk about what Bitcoin is, maybe let's talk about when Bitcoin was created, because that then, shows us why we need Bitcoin. Now, in 2009, in fact, 2008, what happened in 2008? We had the world economic crash, right? The Lehman Brothers collapsed. The banks needed so much money to be bailed in and so forth, right? So now, world economic crash, we had the world recession, things went haywire, businesses shut down, people lost their jobs, people lost their businesses and so forth. A lot of things happened in 2008. And in 2008, in October, okay, of 2008, an anonymous author by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto created and released what is called the white paper, right? So the white paper of Bitcoin was introduced in 2008 in October. So what this white paper simply is, it's simply a document that explains what Bitcoin is, where it's based from, how is it going to be created, how is it going to operate, and so forth. So everything about this thing called Bitcoin, was on that white paper, right? The white paper, I normally, compare it to a building plan. So if you're going to build a building, you need a building plan. The building plan must be approved by the municipality and so forth. So the white paper is the equivalent of a building plan, because, it explains what Bitcoin is, right? So people who read this white paper and understood what this thing could potentially do in 2009, in January 2009, on the 3rd of January, right? The network of Bitcoin went live, right? So this network has been live since the 3rd of January, 24/7, 365, up until today. It has never gone down. There's no weekend, there's no public holiday, it does not matter, right? It has never gone down. You will never ever get to a place whereby you're trying to do a Bitcoin transaction and you're told that you cannot do the transaction because the network is down, give it another 10 minutes. How many times have you gone to the bank and you're told that we can't do this transaction, come back tomorrow, wait another hour or so forth? Why? Because our systems are down, our network is down. The network of Bitcoin is never down. Why? It's not owned or controlled by anyone, right? So if you look at the internet, there is no building you can go to today and say that this is the internet building, right? So meaning this thing, because there is no point of failure, there is no building you can go to and say this is the Bitcoin building, and therefore if I want to destroy Bitcoin, let me just simply send a rocket to that building and blow it to kingdom come, then Bitcoin is gone. There is no place to do that because Bitcoin is simply a protocol, just like the internet, right? You can't destroy the internet. You can't shut down the internet because it is a protocol. So same as Bitcoin, right? Now, so Bitcoin is here to basically solve three things, right? Because Bitcoin is three things in one. One, Bitcoin is what we call a transactional currency, right? So what does that mean? So this means that I can use Bitcoin to buy goods and services. I can use Bitcoin to send to people and so forth, right? I remember back in 2016, 2017, when we started teaching people about Bitcoin, right? We would help people to open and download Luno and open Bitcoin wallets. And with that, and we'll have them experience Bitcoin by actually giving them Bitcoin 50 Rand, 100 Rand, 300 Rand, and so forth at the end of the presentation, so that people can interact and see what Bitcoin is all about, right? So if I look back now and I think about those Bitcoins, I'm not too sure, maybe that was a good thing to do. Why? Because those Bitcoins are probably worth a fortune right now, okay? So Bitcoin is a transactional currency, meaning I can use it to buy goods and services, I can sell it to people, and so forth, right? Now, the second thing about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is a commodity, right? So what does that mean? So if you look at gold, you look at silver, you look at palladium, you look at all these rare earth metals, they are used as commodities because they are rare. As a result, they actually appreciate in value over time. If you look at gold, back in many years ago, big gold was like $100, $200. It's now probably sitting at around 1,800 or so, 2,000 dollars an ounce, right? So it appreciates in value over time because it is a commodity, right? Even if you find a gold deposit today, it's going to cost you billions to actually dig the gold out of the ground. And even if you do, once you dig gold out of the ground, you cannot take it and multiply it and do all sorts of funny things, right? So it's the same as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a commodity. As a commodity, Bitcoin appreciates in value over time, right? Because of the element of scarcity. There will only be 21 million Bitcoins to ever exist, right? People would normally ask me this question, who decided on 21 million Bitcoin? Obviously, it's Satoshi Nakamoto. Why 21 million? I have no cooking clue. All I know is that 21 million is actually there. And I'm glad it's actually there because it means that nobody can add and make this 30 million Bitcoins, 40 million Bitcoin, 100 million Bitcoins. It's there as a result, as more and more people get to understand what Bitcoin is and use Bitcoin and increase the demand for Bitcoin, it means the value of Bitcoin increase over time. That is why, I will never mind, to tell anyone about Bitcoin, right? It's one of those things where, there's not a single person who has Bitcoin who will not want to tell the other person what Bitcoin is. Even if they don't tell them how many Bitcoin they've got and so forth, but they will gladly tell them why Bitcoin. Why? Because the more people want to have Bitcoin is the more my Bitcoins increase in value, right? So now, the third thing about Bitcoin, okay? So we're going to talk about how those Bitcoins are created and added onto circulation. Are you guys still with me? Can I see some fire in the comment section? Are you guys with me? Are you still good? Are you learning? Right. So now, as a payment system, this actually means that now, let's look at it this way. If I've got 5,000 Rand in my pocket and it's in cash, right? And I want to send it to someone who's in Cape Town, it's impossible for me to do so without needing a third party. Okay, a third party could be a bank, it could be a ShopRite, a Pick n Pay, Money Market, and all these other things, right? So, or I could actually give it to someone driving to Cape Town or taking a bus to Cape Town. Nowadays, I could give it to a taxi go to Cape Town, whatever the case is, right? So I will still need to have a third person who is involved in this transaction, okay? So now, obviously, this third person, they're probably not going to do it for free, especially money markets and so forth, right? They will actually charge a fee. Now, this payment system of using a third party becomes even more complicated when you're sending money to another country. The beautiful thing about the internet is that it actually made the world much smaller than what it actually is, right? Because now I can do business with people, from all over the world, so we definitely need a native currency for the internet. And that's what Bitcoin is a contender for. Because now all of a sudden, unlike in history, now I can be able to do business with someone who's in Cape Town, or who is in Georgia, or who is in, Malaysia, Singapore, and so forth. Why? Because because Bitcoin as a payment system, there are no limits to how much money I can send or I can receive, right? And there's no one who can stop me from sending or receiving money to anyone anywhere around the world. Why? Because Bitcoin is permissionless, okay? So now Bitcoin is three things, right? So let's summarize. It is a transactional currency. I can use it to buy stuff, right? So it's money, right? And secondly, it is also a commodity, meaning it appreciates in value. Now, the rand loses value because it's created to do that, right? There is no mistake about it. It is created to lose value over time. That is why Professor Friedman once said that, inflation is actually nothing but a hidden tax, because it is actually done by the hands of the government, right? With the central banks and the commercial banks, sitting together, they actually cause inflation because of how they create money, right? Which means that they're actually robbing you of the value of the money that they have, right? So that's why he says that inflation is actually nothing but, taxation without legislation. Okay? So, payment system, right? Which means now, I can send money to anyone, anywhere around the world, and because without using a third party, right? Because Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer payment system, right? So now that we've looked at all these beautiful things that Bitcoin is and so, and of course there's a lot more I can say, but because of time, we're trying to limit to what we can be able to put in. Now that there is all of these beautiful things that we're talking about, so how has Bitcoin fared over the last few years, right? So I first heard about Bitcoin in the year 2015. Guess how much was one Bitcoin in 2015? One Bitcoin was 3,000 rands. I did not get involved. I did not understand it, right? And when I actually, started wanting to get involved in Bitcoin, guess what I did when I was Googling, right? I went to Google and I wanted to check opportunity or how to make money in Bitcoin. If you type that on Bitcoin, guess what's going to happen? You are going to get a whole lot of scams who have got paid adverts that you will see, first on your Google search, right? And that's what happened to me. And I got into a few opportunities, made money, lost money, in the main lost money. Why? Because they were all scams. No scammers created to help you to make money, right? People don't make money in scams, people lose money in scams. So that's what happened, right? So because I thought of Bitcoin as a thing to make money with, right? I thought of Bitcoin as a thing that I can use to make money without understanding that Bitcoin is actually money, okay? I needed to understand what is it, how it works and so forth. And that's what, that's why I didn't understand all of those things, right? So 2016, I got to understand Bitcoin. And at the time, Bitcoin was 8,000 rands. That's when I got involved, right? August 2016. And when I got involved, I understood what Bitcoin is. January 2017, at this time, I was selling properties at my own company in Port Elizabeth. I was running a Rawson franchise, selling properties. I closed my business in January 2017. Why? I understood what Bitcoin is. I understood this is a time-sensitive opportunity. I understood that this was going to make ordinary people's lives. It was going to change ordinary people's lives as long as they understand this and they get involved, right? So now at the time, January, I think Bitcoin was around 9,000 rands, right? Now, 2017, December, Bitcoin went all the way to 300,000 rands, okay? Yay, everybody was happy, excited. I was not. Why? I was not ready for this, okay? Because yes, I had Bitcoins, but I was not ready for this amount, okay? Now, 2018, the whole year Bitcoin went down all the way up until 38,000 rands. People thought Bitcoin is dead. People packed their bags and went and forgot about Bitcoin instead of accumulating at this point. Now, long story short, year 2021, the highest Bitcoin is seen was how much? 900,000 rands. Okay? Now, so it has since gone down. It's about 690,000 rand today, plus minus, right? Now, even if Bitcoin can go down to 400,000 rands right now, it has still surpassed the previous all-time high, right? Which is very, very important. Now, the question I want to ask you is, I could have told you in 2016 that Bitcoin will one day get to 900,000. What I could not tell you was when it was going to do that. I didn't know, right? I knew it was going to get here. Just like now, I can tell you that Bitcoin will definitely get to 2 million rands. When? I have no idea. Will it really get to 2 million? Yes, you can bet on it, okay? I just don't know when, right? So, the question is, yes, Mr. Funnel, we hear everything that you're saying, and you know, our only interest is, so how do we then make money from this whole thing? How do we then make money? Yes, we've been hearing about Bitcoin, you know, for the last 3 years. We didn't take action. Now we're ready to take action. But how do we actually make money from Bitcoin? Before I tell you that, the formula for wealth creation in cryptocurrencies is actually this. It's education, plus an accumulation strategy, okay, plus a whole lot of patience. Now, whether that's the right form of patience or not, we're not in a spelling bee here, right? That is the formula for wealth creation. Now, I'm going to show you this. You can do on your own. Unfortunately, I can't do this for you, right? I can guide you and ask questions, right? But I can't do it for you. But this I can show you what I'm doing, what I've done, right? And this I also can't teach you. You have to teach yourself, right? So now, Mining City, the company that we've partnered with since 2019, you know, is run by a gentleman called Greg Rogoski. Over the last 2 years, the company's done over $2 billion in sales, you know, with a membership of over 1 million, you know, all around the world. It's one of the fastest growing companies in the space that actually allows ordinary people to get in at the grassroots of actually cryptocurrencies, which is mining. I'm going to talk about, you know, briefly about the 3 ways you can get involved, but then I'm going to show you what mining, you know, actually is. So that's the company that you're partnered with, that we're actually collecting Bitcoins every single day. Every single day, midnight, I get paid in Bitcoins, okay? Not only me, my sofa, my TV, my couch, my fridge, we get paid in Bitcoins every single day. And you too, you also can, right? So now, maybe what is mining? How are we doing on time? Okay, so what is mining? So this is how we explain mining. Mining is so when we talk about mining, we're talking about high-powered servers. These specialized computers who are built and designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to run the network of Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin mining is, so maybe let me tell you this way. Now, remember we said there will only be 21 million Bitcoins in circulation? You want to guess how many Bitcoins already exist today? It's about 18 million, okay? Now, how did these 18 million Bitcoins come into circulation? Via the process called mining. They are mined into circulation. Just like gold is mined, except this one, nobody goes underground. It's simply computers doing their thing. And after they've done their thing, they get rewarded with newly generated Bitcoins every single day. And these Bitcoins accumulate in number every single day up until now, which is about 18 million, right? So maybe in about 2-3 years from now, I don't know when, it will go to 19 million, 20 million, but we will only get to 21 million by the year 2140. That's over 100 years from now, okay? You want to leave a legacy for your kids, make sure that you're mining cryptocurrency. Why? We'll mine cryptocurrency up until the year 2140, okay? So now, when we talk about mining, the process of mining, we actually talking about these computers doing these 3 things. One, these computers actually power the network of Bitcoin, right? by their sheer computing power, right? Because if I have got mining equipment connected to the network of Bitcoin, right? Someone else in China, Nigeria, all over the world, we connect our power. Now, if I'm connecting 1,000 terahash, one person is connecting 5,000 terahash, another one 20,000 terahash, that becomes the entire computing power of the network of Bitcoin. So meaning, it then becomes impossible for anyone to hack this network because they actually need to have, a far greater computing power than what we collectively have in the network of Bitcoin, right? So they power this network. So you and I, we do transactions on our smartphones, but it's actually powered by these powerful servers, right? And then number three, these computers also secure the network. And number three, they actually verify transactions, right? Which brings me to, how transactions actually get created. So now every 10 minutes, there's X amount of number of Bitcoin that are created, right? So if you go back to, okay, let's put it this way, okay? So back in 2009, right? So there was 50 new Bitcoins per 10 minutes generated, right? This was in 2009. But remember back then, there was only a few people mining Bitcoins. Bitcoin didn't even have value, right? So this was not even a profitable exercise then, right? But these guys were busy collecting Bitcoin because they understood what it could be, right? Now, every 4 years, the number of Bitcoin generated per 10 minutes, is reduced, therefore making Bitcoin deflationary, right? So 4 years later, the number of Bitcoins that are generated is actually now 25 Bitcoins per 10 minutes. And 4 years later, it went down to 12.5 Bitcoins per 10 minutes. And then right now, it's actually 6.25 Bitcoins per 10 minutes, meaning as we speak, there is 900 new Bitcoin generated every single day, right? So you and I, we've got absolutely no chance of getting, these Bitcoins. Now, here is why mining is important, right? Every 10 minutes, there's Bitcoin generated. Whether I know about Bitcoin or not, or whether I say Bitcoin is real or is not real, but every 10 minutes, that does not stop these Bitcoins from being generated, okay? So if this is going to happen up until the year 2140, why don't I secure my position to make sure that every day when they create Bitcoins, I get a share of those Bitcoins? Because I know that Bitcoin today is sitting at around what, around $40,000. I know that Bitcoin one day will be $100,000, $1 million for one Bitcoin, and so forth. So I might as well, secure these Bitcoins by simply collecting it every single day, right? So now this will continue happening up until the 840, like I've said, okay? Now, what Mining City have done, because mining Bitcoin has become, such a difficult subject right now, what people do is that they collect their computing power and they form mining pools, right? So picture it this way and say, these are the number of Bitcoin generated per day, which is 900, okay? Now, mining pools work this way. If Mining City has got, X amount of this, is contributing X amount of computing power, so the likelihood is that, let's say they get, as an example, let's say this is a pi or a p. Out of that 900, let's say Mining 50 gets 100 as an example, right? So what will happen to that 100? Mining City will take this 100 and actually spread it amongst all the different members of Mining City who are mining Bitcoins every single day. So if tomorrow they get 80, they're going to spread that. If the other day they get 50, they're going to continue spreading this Bitcoin that they're getting every single day to every member who's basically mining Bitcoin, right? So, and then the other miners will also get a share and they do whatever they want to do with their Bitcoins, right? So, how do you participate in this auto a way of generating Bitcoins? It's very simple. What Mining City does is, they've made it simple. by making it, breaking it down, and making it affordable to everyone. So they have created what they call mining plans. So mining plans start from $400. Okay, $400, gets you in the door. And then from there is one for $800, where you can also generate. And there is one for 1,600. Okay. What's the third one going? 5.2. I think it's 5,200. Or 2,800. Right. It's actually 3,200. Huh? Yeah. And the next one is 5,600. And the last one is the Big Boys Club, goes for 16,800. Okay. Now, this brings me to the next point that says, look here, this is good. My platinum plan is the old one at 12,000. That platinum plan at 12,000 was generating me Bitcoins at today's value of about $42 a day, right? That's the platinum plan at, now remember, this has got corresponding hash power. So meaning the hash power for this platinum plan is way much bigger than the hash power for the platinum plan, which was generating me $42, right? So obviously, if I buy this one right now, right, I'm gonna get more computing power, more hash power. So meaning I'm gonna get more in terms of the number of Bitcoins that I'm generating, okay? So, and the same here, there's X amount of hash power, so therefore there's X amount of Bitcoin that we're generating on a day-to-day basis, right? And one thing I can't tell you that it's going to be $42 every single day. It will fluctuate, go up and down. But what I can tell you that every single day, there is something that you will be getting, right? Now, over and above this, right? Mining City says, we know that there is people like Follow, right? Who likes money, who doesn't want to collect this, and has to wait. So how much is it going to be today? $42. Oh, wow. Tomorrow, $38. And I said, people like me who don't like that. We want hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. Why? I like money, right? Because I know what it's like when you have money, and I want to see what it's like to have money, right? So now, what Mining City has done there is they've created a corresponding business opportunity, which is 100% optional. I know not everybody likes money. In fact, the biggest lie people tell is, I hate being broke. That's the biggest lie people tell. Why? Because if people hate being broke, right, they will do everything in their own power to make sure that they're not broke, right? So the reason why we still have broke people, it's because people don't hate being broke enough. Okay, so Mining City says, those of you who hate being broke, want to do something about it, like Follow, here's an opportunity for you, right? And guess what? How much this is going to cost you? You are selling a high ticket. You've got an opportunity to franchise this Bitcoin mining operation, right? Where you can also sell, these mining plans, right? Now you've got an opportunity to franchise this. I paid 150,000 rand for my real estate franchise, which was just a name. I still had to go look for properties. I still had to do so many different things to make sure that, I make money from that. But guess how much money City is going to charge to franchise this opportunity that's global? It's going to cost you zero. The only thing you have to do is simply buy your own mining plan, of which you get paid from it, whether you tell someone or not. But if you do, then there's more money that you can make, right? So there is 3 basic ways where Mining City compensates you. And way number 1, maybe let me wait. Do you guys want to know how we make money? Are you sure? Let me see those who want to, who want to make money. Maybe there's no one who wants to make money. We can call it a day. I can go and drink my coffee, eat my food, and sleep. Or sleep, but yeah, work to do. So there is people. Oh, okay, awesome. Wow, there's people who like money. Hey, I've got my cousins here who like money. Awesome. So there's 3 ways where you can make money. One is called the binary cycle bonus. This is by far everybody's favorite. I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like it. Okay. How does this work? So remember, there was those plans. Maybe let's put them here again. There was one for 400, right? And then there was one for 800, 1.6, 3.2, 5.6, and 16.8, right? Now, what happens is when I help my brother, my cousin, my sister, my friend, a total stranger, secure their own money plans, what happens? I get corresponding credits, right? So this one will give me 0.5, this one will give me 1, this one will give me 2, this one will give me 4, this one 7, and this one 21, okay? So what do those credits mean? Those credits actually mean, whenever you have 5 credits on your left-hand side and 5 credits on your right, this simply means that you get a cycle bonus of $200, okay? You're talking about left and right, but I don't see left and right. Let me show you. There's something called the citizen tree. So a citizen tree, when you sign up, you are placed on what is called the citizen tree, right? That's yourself right there, okay? Now, a tree has got branches. This one only has 2 branches, okay? It's left and it's right, okay? Now, if you help 2 people, your friend, family member, cousin, whoever, right? And they buy their own plan, right? They can buy any of these plans that they want to, but let me make an example with saying the 2 people that you help sign up, they happen to buy the gold plan, right? Of which the gold plan will give you how many credits? It will give you 7 left and it will give you 7 right, okay? 7 left, 7 right, okay. And then I think you said something about $200 when we've got 5. So you've got more than 5. So what Mining City will do is they will minus 5 this side, you're left with 2 on either side. What do you get in return? Ka-ching, ka-ching, your first $200 gets paid to you in Bitcoin, okay? Now, obviously, if you like money like myself, and you've already tasted that the money is good, obviously now you want to take the world. Even if you had only 2 friends in your life, okay? And having introduced them, now you get paid. Now you see having friends actually pays, okay? What are you gonna do? You're gonna go out and look for more friends, right? And friends tell their friends what they do for a living, right? So if you then refer someone else, let's just say this other friend that you happen to make, the good friends here, right? This friend happens to buy a platinum plan. Platinum plan being what? 21 credits. So Mining City will add to your 2 credits. They will add 21. Now you've got 23, right? And what happens? And this is where this business becomes a no-brainer. This guy here, right? So this guy here has not done anything, but he's going to get the same benefit you're getting. So meaning this guy will also get 21 credits. He does not know this guy. He was not even there when we signed him up. Why? He gets what is called a spillover, okay? So now this side here, let's say this person happens to understand network marketing. You told them that you get your $200. You told them that the person who introduced you is actually making $600 or whatever, in a day. And well, guess what he does? He then signs up these 2 people, left and right, both buying gold plans. So meaning he's got 7 on either side. So meaning what's going to happen? He's going to get his own cycle bonus, of which is going to be how much? It is going to be $200. Okay. Now he gets $200. He's excited, and guess what is going to happen? So remember, on your left, you are left with only 2. On your right, you are left with only 2 credits. Now the 7 plus 7 is all on your right hand side. So Mining City says 7 plus 7, that is 14. right? You've got a total of 16 credits right now. What does that mean? Because now you've got 23 and you've got 16. Mining City will say, okay, fine, let's come and take 15, you're left with 1. Let's take 15 here, and you're left with 8. And what do you get in return? $600. $600 one night. Okay? Now, so this becomes beautiful, right? So if you have another person that you're signing up, what are you going to do? Where are you going to place them? Okay? So I shut this thing. Okay, two sides. Okay. So now, if you have one more person, let's say they're buying a silver plan, right? Place them here, right? So meaning you're getting what? 4 credits. That's 4 credits. You are simply coining it right now. Okay? This guy here, right? He was not even introduced by you. You don't even know who he is. He's gonna get 4, right? And you already got the 4. Everyone above you gets the 4 as well. Okay? So, but you have another money-making opportunity right here. So Mining City will come in -5, you're left with 3, -5, you're left with 0. And what you get in return? Another $200. Guys, this goes on and on and on, because what's going to happen is that, this person will, build their own business, right? And now you've got credits, that are coming up, this one doing his own thing, this one is doing his own thing. Now you've got credits that are coming up from your left, credits coming up on your right. Now imagine if you only secure just 10 credits left, 10 credits right. That simply means that every single day you are walking away with $400 on this one bonus. Is that too much money? By the way, how much is $200 a day in a month? How much is $200 a day in a month? Would that be life-changing kind of money for you? Because I know that for a lot of people, that kind of money will change their lives, right? Because we're talking what? Almost 100,000 Rand here. If you're getting $200 every single day, right? That's almost 100,000 Rand. 100,000 Rand every single month. I know for a lot of people, that means that it's the kind of money that allows you to change your neighbor, right? Allows you to buy new neighbors, okay? It allows you to change your mode of transport, maybe from 2x2 to 4x4, right? It allows you to, maybe take your kids to that school you always wanted to take them to, right? It allows you to take care of your parents, okay? Allows you to retire your mom, right? Or your dad, okay? So there's so much you can do with that kind of money, but that's not all. Let me show you the other way we get paid. Remember I said the first one is a good one, a lot of people's favorite. I like it too, but let me show you my favorite. So what my favorite is if you remember, that guy got his $200, right? That you signed up. Now, whenever everyone in your team makes $200, right? Mining City, through this bonus called the matchup bonus, gives you $10, right? I think that's a fair exchange, right? I help you to make $200, Mining City give me 10, right? And I help you to help you, to help someone make $200. That person gets $200, you get 10, I get 10. It's fair, okay? I have 10 people to make $200, I get $10 times 10. Now, here's the thing, right? So if I've got 50 people in my team, right? Only 50 people making $200 a day, right? So that's $10 times 50. If they do this every single day for the rest of the month, that's 30 days of the month, right? And that will mean I'm walking away with $15,000. $15,000 by just helping 50 people make $10 a day, right? Now, being myself who like money, I imagine having 500 people. My organization making $200, therefore I'm getting $10, right? So that would mean that this then becomes 1.5 million. Now amen in Tawil. No amen in church right now, right? That's too much. Get a brain freeze right now when we sing those type of figures, right? My upline has made this amount of money a couple of times, okay? This is not an impossible task, okay? My upline makes this, okay? So now let's talk about the third way, and we call it a day. So the third way, it's quite simple. The first person you sign up, and the second, and the third, and the fourth, all the way to the fifth person, you will get 5% referral commission. That person buys gold plan, 5%, bronze, 5%, silver, 5%, platinum, 5% of that. Okay? Now, of course, you're not going to stop there because you're like me, you like money, right? And then from your sixth person all the way to infinity. What's that sign, right? All the way to infinity. Now you get 10% for every referral. Okay? 10% for your direct referrals. Now, anyone here who then signs, their first 5, they are going to get what? They will get 5% just like you did. But what's going to happen is there's going to be another 5% that will be paid to you. Okay? And person number 7 does the same, person number 8 does the same, and so forth and so forth, right? So there's literally an unlimited amount of money to be made in this opportunity. Now, I'm not sure if you've got any question. All I can tell you is that, you don't have to know all the information that I've been sharing here tonight for you to be able to make money, right? For most of you on this call, I did not invite you, but you're watching me explain to you how this opportunity works, right? It is as simple as that. You simply invite your friend, your family member, your colleague. People right now are so much in need of opportunities to make money. We should actually be looking at what we do, as a righteous cause, because it is a righteous cause, right? We are helping people find an alternative way of making money other than having their jobs only, because right now, let's face it, the cost of living has gone, far higher than what wages have been able to keep up with. So you and I, we've got a golden opportunity to help as many people as possible and show them ways where they can actually create money and make their money go further with cryptocurrencies. Okay, so you don't have to know everything that I know. It's going to take you time to actually learn, but the only thing that's needed, you need to commit to yourself. Okay, I don't know what they told you when you came to this meeting. Maybe they told you they're going to make money and this, whatever the case is, right? I don't know what they told you, but what I can tell you is that this meeting here, right here, the information we've been sharing, right? It's actually about creating a future that is created by design. It's about designing your own future, right? It's about, having an opportunity to make enough money to live life the way you want to live it, not the way life would have you live it, right? Not the way that circumstances will have you live it, but living life according to your choices, right? And one thing I like about money, right? You can say whatever you want to like about money, root of all evil, whatever the case is, money gives you choices. You want unlimited choice in life, get unlimited amount of money. It could start with this one. It could start with this opportunity. For me, it started with this opportunity, okay? Now, but right now, it's bigger than this, okay? But this can be your start, okay? Where you can literally make life-changing kind of money. So what I want you to do, for me tonight is go back to the person who invited you to this call. First thing you must say to them is thank you. Thank you. Thank you for exposing me to an opportunity where I can create the life that I've always dreamed of. Okay? Be grateful. Just thank them, right? And you figure out how you're gonna, get the money to go and buy the platinum plan. You figure it out. You just have to want it. That's all. That's how life works. You know, you don't have to figure it out now. How are you going to make it? You just have to make a decision that this is what I want. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and do want to see you on Sunday on our testimonial evening, and I want to see you on Monday. Obviously, on Monday, you're not coming alone. You're coming with your friends, family members, and so forth. Remember, it pays to have money in this opportunity, okay? If you don't have enough friends, go and make them from today on. From today on, your task is simply to make friends. Why? Having friends pays, okay? It pays. Social media is your number one platform where you can be able to actually do so, right? Thank you very much. See you next time. Love you all. Stay blessed. Make some money. And what do we say? Reach for the top, for the bottom is overcrowded. There's looting in the bottom. Reach for the top. Cheers.